welcome back to Stats. You guys are so close to finished. We have today's work, which sort of puts together the last couple of days of work as a review. Then we might do a little bit more review, and then I'm going to give you a choice of assessments for your last unit, okay? So let's look at today's work. In Google Classroom, you have this, and you have one that looks exactly like this, except it's talking about Mensa instead of scholarship recipients. So I'm going to go through this one for you to kind of help explain, and then you're going to do the 3 for Mensa. All right, so what we see is a college gives a scholarship to its incoming freshmen who score in the top 85% of its entrance exams. There are 2 different exams applicants can take. Find the Z-score for the given test score, and then use the Z-chart to see if that incoming freshman would get a scholarship. So the 2 tests are the easy test and the difficult test. Each of them has a mean score, and each of them has a standard deviation. And this is the Z-score formula, and remember, we'll be using that for both of them. Because they have such different scales, in order to compare them, we need to look at their Z-score and then use the Z-chart, which I'll make bigger, which is down here, to see the percent they scored better than. All right, so for our first one, we are looking at an easy test score of 59. So remember, this is the X value that is up here. So we have 59 minus the mean. The mean on this test score was 50. And then divide that by the standard deviation, which was 10. So we have 9 divided by 10. So hopefully you can do that part and get 0.9 as a Z-score. All right, in order to see the percent they did better than, we need to look at our Z-chart. So 0.9 is right here. There was no number following it, so we're going to use the 0.00. That means they scored better than this, but written as a percent, 0.8159. So going back here, we had 0.8159 as a percent. That is 81.59%, because remember, we move our decimal point 2 spaces to the right. So in order to get the scholarship, they had to be in the top 85%, meaning they had to score better than 85% of people. 81.59 is definitely not bigger than 85%, so no, this person would not get this scholarship. Let's try another just like that. Now we have a difficult test score of 17.5, so we're going to be using the information here. So 17.5 is our X value, minus the X bar, which is the mean, that's 13, and divide the whole thing by 2.7. And we get a repeating decimal of 1.666 forever and ever. 1.67. So I'm going to write it as 1.67 because when I go to look at my Z-chart, I know that it only has 2 decimal places after the decimal point. So let's look at the Z-chart. We're looking for 1.67. Here's 1.6. Here's the 7. They meet right here, so 0.9525, which 0.9525 as a percent is 95.25. That's definitely greater than 85%, so yes, they would get a scholarship. And let's look at the very last one here. We have a difficult test score of 16.2. So again, we're using this row. So 16.2 minus the mean of 13 divided by the standard deviation of 2.7. And that gives us another repeating decimal, 1.185185, so it would repeat like that. So for the Z-score, all right, 1.19. And notice I rounded up because that's a 5, so the 8 would go up. And then let's look down here. We're looking for 1.19. Here's 1.1. Here's our 9. We get 0.8830. 0.8830. That means it's 88.3%, and that is higher than 85, so yes, they would get the scholarship. So those are the, let's see, 1, 2, 3 steps you're going to take for each of these questions. You'll figure out which which test you're looking at. You'll figure out their z-score and then the percent. And based on that, you can answer yes or no to the question it's asking. Next class, we will do a whole bunch of review, and then you will decide which form of the assessment you want to take, and that will be the last thing you need to complete for stats.